Welcome back to Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.
Good Sunday morning. You are listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth. Welcoming back to the program. It's been a couple of years since she's been on, but I am very honored to be in the presence of such a queen. Ladies and gentlemen, the lovely Deavra Daughtry of the Texas Women's Empowerment Foundation. Good morning.
Good morning. You know what? And it takes a king to know a queen. So thank you for having me again.
Well, thank you. It's so good to see you. You know, you do so much for the city of Houston, especially for Texas women, with empowering them and getting them up on financial education, financial literacy. So for those who may not be familiar with you and TWEF, just please give us a brief history of Deavra Daughtry.
Oh, my God. The Reader's Digest version. You know, right. Texas Women Empowerment Foundation actually was founded 15 years ago. This is our 15th year anniversary. Wow. 15 years. I never would have imagined.
Congratulations.
And of course, me as a business owner, I started a business from the trunk of my car about 20 years ago. And so with that whole mission, knowing that I can start a business from the trunk of the car and now have over 1,000 employees, and being able to just help, inspire, and train over 10,000 caregivers and sent them out into the world to better themselves, and just being an inspiration for women, and we being able to inspire each other. It was so important that I did it on a different scale. Had not really thought that it would be a nonprofit. Didn't even really know what the nonprofit was 15 years ago. But I just knew I had to help. I had to empower. We needed something different. We needed to know that we can make it. Yeah. And so I started hosting these in-services in my office. And so about 50 or 60 women would come from the staff. And then those women began to invite their friends and their family members. And so it became an organization. And so once my accountant came in and said, "What are y'all doing here on a Monday night after 7 o'clock?" And so I said, "Oh, we're just gathering, women just gathering, you know, having fun and just learning from each other." And he said, "No, this is more than a gathering. You need to kind of package this." And so that's how the Texas Women Empowerment Foundation, really with me just wanting to help build the quality of my employees and their families. And then they started to bring in other individuals. And so with that, we ran out of space, KG. And so then I was inspired to build the Empowerment Center. So I said, we need a place. We got to have a house. We need a place where we can go to and be safe and talk about things and have seminars. And I would bring in, you know, friends to help show them how to budget and how to balance checkbooks, just the basic stuff that women needed to know, just to have some little extra oomph and say, hey, we can do it. We can make it. And so I built the Empowerment Center back in 2006. And use $800,000 on my own personal funds. It sits on 8 acres of land, and that's where we've been hosting our seminars every first Monday. For 15 years, we have been there inspiring women. And then, of course, the women have children and they have husbands. So we just made it all about the family. So we really about family empowerment and empowering our community.
Indeed. That's why you are a pillar of this community, because of the work that you do.
Yeah. Consistently.
Yeah. Indeed.
Every first Monday.
I always like to ask people who deal with money the importance of financial literacy and education and where the responsibility lies. I don't think you and I have had this conversation. Do you think it lies in the schools, in the education system, or is it something at home? And then I ask this because, you know, in our community, a child should stay in a child's place. When mom and dad is at the kitchen table and they're balancing a checkbook or paying the bills or whatever, hey, what's going on? This grown folks' business. Go ahead and, you know, sit down. Versus our counterparts who embrace the financial education and literacy. So and I remember being in school, you know, them teaching us how to, you know, balance a checkbook and things of that nature, simple things, but they never talked about credit and the importance of that and all that. So to you, where do you think the responsibility lies when it comes to financial education and literacy?
What an amazing question. Fabulous question. And let me just tell you, I can only speak from my own experience.
Sure.
Because, I started, like I said, a company from the trunk of the car with no dollars. And, and I went broke. I didn't have any money. I didn't know, I thought when you went out to get a DBA and you got your first business card, I thought right way that business would come.
Yeah.
So it was 2 long years before I received my first client. So I was scraping in the middle of the seats in my car looking for change so me and my kids can eat. When I say I went broke, I had no money because I thought business would come. But it was the teaching of my grandmother at home, sitting at the table. See, my grandmother was a church treasurer.
Okay.
For 60 years, she counted the church money. So we had a respect in our household for money, from day one, because Granny would bring the church money home on Sunday and she would lay it on the bed. And all the coins, I don't know if you know about, how to roll the coins.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm dating myself here. I'm letting everybody know. But, we would have to roll the coins and the nickels and the dimes and stuff and the church money. But me, I don't know. It was always something with me with this money thing. Because I would get in the bed and I was probably like 6 or 7 years old, and I had my little dress, but I would like to roll in the money. I would like to roll in the money. So listen, my little cousins, they would come out and they would say, Deavra, you're going to get it because granted, you can't mess. That's the church's money. The bed was like sacred because it had the church's money on
there. You can't be messing up the church's money.
You can't mess up. So, but I would get in there, sneak and roll while granny in there cooking chicken. I would be rolling. And so, but this is the deal. I knew when I got up, I had to shake myself off. Because if a nickel or a dime, it would stick to you. I knew that it had to go back in that bag. So it was the whole respect of money. And it's right. So, but once you respect money, then you're able to look at it differently. You're able to budget it. You ain't going to go out and overspend, and you're going to be able to balance yourself out. But it started at home with watching my grandmother respect the church money, balancing the church checkbook. We didn't have a lot of money, but she was trusted. And so, people say, well, Deavra, how did you grow from 0 employees, yourself being an employee, to over 1,000 employees? Because I respect the money. And that's why I'm able to teach and inspire entrepreneurs. If I can do it, anybody can do it. But it begins with the respect of money. And I believe that is taught at home. It's good to have it. Right. It's good to have, but it's nothing like seeing that example. It's nothing like seeing that example. So, my grandma just didn't believe that, your bills you just don't be late with your bills, right. Because you want to grow. You want to be a good steward so you can have more, And so I believe it starts with the respect at home.
That is the best answer that I have heard.
Oh, wow.
Respecting the money
Absolutely.
first. And when you respect the money, you look at it differently.
Right.
Oh, man.
If you don't respect it, you don't know what to do with it.
Right.
You'll just go out and spend it.
Be frivolous and reckless.
Right.
Oh,
but
man.
you got to respect the money. And that's the only way you're going to keep it if you respect it.
I love that. You're listening to Access Houston. We are talking to Deavra Daughtry, the founder of Texas Women's Empowerment Foundation. It's that time of year again. You got the 11th annual International Financial Leadership Summit that is coming up the weekend of October the 13th and 14th. What do you have on tap this year? Because every year, at least since I've been here in Houston, every year has been different and better.
Yeah.
So what's on tap for this year? I'm excited for you.
I'm excited as well. The one good thing, I always like to keep it fresh. And I don't know, people say, well, how do you come up with these ideas? It's not really, like I just have a lot of time to sit up. But, it always is fresh and it's always different. And of course, where we just came from these last 2 or 3 weeks, like I said, it's our 15th year. And so we had this big grand celebration planned, and which is going to be great. And then our friend Harvey, well, came through, I'm just gonna say, I'm just gonna say, but he didn't stop nothing. He didn't stop the show.
He did not.
Harvey didn't stop the show. So, so this year, because of our 15th year and because of Harvey, we, my whole purpose in life is meeting the needs of the people, meeting the needs of the community. So, where we was going to do a lot of tech, talking them through, tech companies, and a lot of the partners was coming in with a different emphasis on financial literacy and budget. That's our focus, and entrepreneurship. We'll be doing some of that, but, we want to meet the needs of the people and cater to them to inspire them. I mean, I am one. I lost everything. I had a building that sits on 4,000 square feet, 5 feet of water. 5 feet of water. I mean, everything is gone. But, so I know that, I know it took people calling me and encouraging me every day. And some of those people who are coming to the summit on October the 13th and 14th, are coming in because they know the place I was in. And I know if I was in that place, and, I'm pretty resourceful, I had flood insurance that's going to take care of the sheetrock. But 20 years of memories in history, the flag that was flown over the White House that was given to me by President Obama. Oh, it was floating. It was floating. All my books, Dr. Monroe was my mentor. All my books, cabinet, just stuff that I would never, it's gone. But with that, the healing process for me, KG, has been able to put this summit together, make it just as wonderful and as fabulous and as amazing as I can, and the people around me and the partners that's coming together, because we still have to meet the need of the people. Where the center sits, I mean, it really looks like a war zone if you drive down the street. 10 feet of debris. Yeah. Every house on each side of the street. So, I mean, the people are in need. So I called some of my friends. And I called Les Brown, who is, the master iconic motivator himself. And he said, Deavra, look, I'll be there. Les was one of the ones who inspired me through while I was sitting just like everybody else for those 5 days that couldn't get out and couldn't move. And I called Dr. Sherry Blake. She's a psychiatrist, celebrity psychiatrist. Everybody pretty much knows her on all the reality shows. Right. Yeah. She's coming and she said, Deavra, look, I'll be there for the people. Locally here, John and Aventer Gray pastors over at Lakewood. They say, Deavra, we're coming through because we want to help the need of the people. Then internationally, Estelle. I don't know if everybody is familiar with Estelle. Phenomenal Kanye West. Yeah,
American Boy. Was
American Boy. She was on
single.
Empire. Right,
yeah, she was. Yep.
Right. Did the duet. So, she's coming in, flying herself in from London, saying, look, I want to be a part of this. I want to be there for the people to help them relieve themselves of Harvey. And also, of course, we're going to honor the mayor because he did a phenomenal job. Gosh. His leadership, we're going to do a special toast to him over Friday night at Univision with our friends that's there. And then, of course, we have our Radio 1 family that's going to be there. So we're just going to have a big media party and live band, and Estelle is going to be performing there as well. So it's going to be 2 days of just festivities, celebration, entertainment, but we giving back because we have the food trucks, the support trucks, and all the entities that's needed to be able to help the people as well.
Indeed. I love that. And one of the things that I absolutely love, you having Dr. Sherry come in and address the crowd about mental health and Harvey. And I'm going to tell you why. So when I was stuck back home in Ohio during everything, watching the devastation on the news like everyone else, I was watching CNN and they were down at GRB, down at George R. Brown, interviewing a young Houston lady. And as she was talking, she was, saying how they got out and how this is her second time going through this because she moved to Houston because she was displaced from Katrina. Sure. And so watching the emotions change and then in her face, and she was like, I'm going to need to see a psychiatrist after this because mentally I'm going to need some help because I don't know what I'm going to do and I can't take it anymore. So I know that I'm going to need some mental health or talk to a psychologist after this.
Absolutely.
And in that moment, I just had to applaud her for being self-aware of knowing that she is having some mental issues with all of the trauma that has happened to her, and that she's going to need some psychological help.
So important. So important. And that's, really the focus, because, Harvey, one, you did the, the rescuing phase was, very, it was sexy, sensational.
Right.
We saw the people getting pulled out of the boats and, all in the water and all that stuff.
It made great
news,
television, great news, great
Everybody
film.
News, all over the world. I just left Alberta, Canada, and they were still talking about, because they saw. So, okay, that was good. That was one part. But then the recovery part is another part.
And
when people go
ongoing.
home and actually have to go through and say, okay, I left the house with a backpack and now I'm going back and I don't have anything left. How I get it. I get it. I'm still, going through part of the grieving phase of my office building. People say, oh, you might say it's just an office building, but I work more at the building than I was at home.
Yeah.
Right. So, I totally get it. And you do need that support.
Yes.
That's the reason why we bringing in the professionals. That's why we're going to go on after this, and it's going to be part of our mental health recovery initiative, where we're going to be doing a whole lot, to be able to get people back into the thought process. Somebody had to say, Deavra, get up and go and put your lipstick on. I don't care if you can't get out the house, but go look in the mirror, put your lipstick on, and, pull yourself together. So that's what we are. We're telling our communities, yeah, we went through, but we can pull ourselves together and keep moving forward.
And I'm glad that you are doing that.
And it takes all of us, KG. You too. What you doing?
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you are using your platform for the International Financial Leadership Summit to do this for the people of Harvey. It's great. Where can people go get more information about the summit? Of course,
TWEF.org, TWEF.org, or they can always call the office and call me at 832-434-5325, and everything is listed on the website. A lot of free stuff out there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be festive, but at the same time, it's going to be empowering.
And social, these kids, everything is in these phones, social media. So shout that out too.
Yeah, absolutely. Go to the IG, and all the stuff is going to be posted out there.
Okay.
Yes.
Deavra Daughtry of Texas Women's Empowerment Foundation. So good to see you. Thank you for coming through.
I am so excited. I'm excited about this time of the season and this place of, a better Houston.
A better Houston.
People say we are Houston strong, but I really believe that we're going to be better. And the people are going to be better because we're in a better place. And,
Indeed.
We did set a perfect example of what community is all about.
Yeah, come on, you better say that.
No, we did it.
Because that was my thought.
Yes.
When I was sitting watching this, I was like, Houston has just restored my faith in humanity. Because earlier in the month, we had these donkeys in Charlottesville with their tiki torches, saying Jews will not replace us, blacks, this, whatever, bringing that division.
The world
and
watched.
then this happened, and you see the people of Houston and just Southeast Texas just like, hey, forget this, we're going to do it ourselves. We helping each other out.
Absolutely.
This is what the community is about.
Absolutely.
And so, you were right with that.
We set the example.
Sure did.
So now we're going to keep it moving. We're going to celebrate with the people and change some lives and, empower them to be motivated to do even better. So I'm excited about this next phase for our city.
Indeed. Well, save the date for October 13th and 14th for the 11th Annual International Financial Leadership Summit. The lovely Deavra Daughtry, thank you so much.
Thank you, King. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Queen. And thank you for listening to Access Houston.